You learn this the hard way, in a room that smells of coffee and cameras. A joke lands with a blade's edge. The table laughs at you, not with you. Your blood climbs, fast and foolish, begging for a speech. You inhale once, again. You straighten the papers. You smile, as if you didn't hear it. And you move a single piece on the board. After the meeting, you change the seating chart. The offender loses the seat near you and the privilege of early access. No statement, no scene. By morning, calendars shift, doors close, and the joke has nowhere to live. You said nothing, the city heard everything. Rage is a leak, calm is a lever. Disrespect is not a wound to lick, it is a signal to root. Anger wants to spray bullets into the dark. Leadership builds a narrow beam and burns one clean line through. When you rage, you pay in public. Your face trembles, your voice stumbles, and the crowd learns your buttons. When you act without heat, you become unreadable, and unreadable is untouchable. You do not teach with noise, you teach with consequences. On the street, love is a warm weather, pleasant until the storm. It costs nothing to praise you at lunch. It costs to stand beside you when the bill arrives. Fear is not terror. It is the simple memory that crossing you has a price and paying late doubles it. Predictable pain is a public service. It keeps the traffic moving. You are not cruel when you install guardrails. You are cruel when you remove them and let everyone slide. So you draw rules you can point at. Miss a deadline, lose a privilege. Leak a message, lose the room. Mock in public, apologize in public, or exit quietly. You do not write essays, you write invoices. The currency is access, time, opportunity, and proximity. You deliver rewards fast, like a blessing people can feel. You deliver punishment slow, precise, impossible to mistake. Watch how love behaves when it costs. The prisoned friend who adores you on Saturday vanishes on Monday when you refuse a free favor. The colleague who claps at your speech forgets to answer when you ask for the unglamorous task. Do not argue, do not beg. Adjust the price. Move them farther from the center and closer to the door. If they return stronger, you reward. If they fade, you save food for those who hunt with you. Your policy is your shadow. It follows you into every hallway and every chat. People do not remember your words. They remember your pattern. Did lateness meet a smile or a shuttered gate? Did gossip earn a raised eyebrow or a lost credential? Every answer becomes law, and law travels faster than you can. You carry a crown only if the shadow is heavy. Picture a group chat where your name appears. If your last 3 decisions were soft, the room fills with brave comedians. If your last 3 decisions were clean 2 rewards, 1 quiet cut, the room edits itself before you arrive. The world is a theater of incentives. You are not the actor, you are the lighting rig. Tilt the light and the scene rewrites. Do not confuse silence with weakness. Silence is a sheath. The blade is policy. When you finally speak, keep the sentence short. We don't do that here. Then move a calendar, reassign a resource. Let the room feel the floor tilt. Composure multiplies fear and respect because it separates judgment from adrenaline. The animal wants to bite. The prince signs a paper and changes the weather. You do not need to win the argument. You need to price the behavior. You do not need everyone to love you. You need everyone to understand you. Calm punishment builds power. Anger spends it like a drunk at midnight. Choose receipts over speeches. Choose levers over leaks. Choose the rule that remembers itself. Reward loyalty, price disrespect. Men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly, covetous. You want to believe that kindness buys safety. You want to think a warm smile is armor, for, on a while, it seems true. People take your calls, nod at your ideas, and praise your patience. They call you nice, which sounds like respect until a bill appears. A small favor becomes a standing order. A courtesy becomes a right. What felt generous becomes policy. You can be pressed. The comfort of being nice is expensive. Appeasement buys a quiet morning and sells your afternoon. You let the jokes slide in a meeting because you fear looking touchy. You answer the midnight text because you fear seeming cold. You take the extra task because it's only this once. Each time you pay with silence, you print a coupon for the next demand. Short peace, long war. They learn that the path to yes is pressure, not merit. Kindness without cost control becomes a subsidy for bad behavior. Think like a small state with a budget. If you hand out free privileges, the court swells with courtiers. They flatter you in public and strip you in private, not because they are monsters, but because incentives bend people the way wind bends grass. Your job is not to curse the wind. Your job is to build fences that hold in weather. Honey without fences melts. Sweet words feel good, but sweetness without structure is syrup on the floor. You need posts in the ground, deadlines, roles, and consequences anyone can point to. In a team, that means clear owners, decision rights, and what happens when someone misses. In a family, it means who handles bills, who handles mornings, and what follows when promises break. In dating, it means how you speak in public, what you share online, and the price of disrespect even when you love each other. Structure is not the enemy of warmth. It protects warmth from erosion. Think about a car with strong brakes. Your shoulders drop and your steering steadies. Boundaries are brakes. They let you move faster without dying. When you give someone a clear rule and a clear reward, you erase the gray zone where manipulation grows. You do not need to raise your voice. You point at the map you already showed them. Disrespect rehearses in inches. It rarely starts with a slap. It starts with a smirk. A late reply tests whether your time is cheap. A small lie checks if you prefer comfort over truth. A public jab measures your tolerance for humiliation. These are not accidents. They are probes. The person may not know they are probing, but the pattern knows. If the inch passes, the mile is already on the calendar. Treat each inch as instruction. Your task is not to rage. Your task is to correct. If someone replies late without cause, do not chase them. Slow your response and move their request to the back of the queue. If they lie, surface the fact quietly and remove their access to sensitive rooms. If they mock you in public, require a public repair, or end their proximity to you. Calm, visible, proportionate, not a tantrum, a tariff. Early interception is cheaper than late repair. Picture a leak in the roof. You can pretend the drip is music. You can light a candle and call it ambiance. But the wood is rotting while you hum. 1 hour on a ladder today saves a winter of mold tomorrow. So you climb, you patch, and you build the weather with firm hands. That is punishment as infrastructure. You are not attacking the rain. You are guarding the house. People will call this cold. They are right. It is cold, like a surgeon's hand before the cut. It is cold, so warmth can return without infection. You are not building a life of fear. You are building a life where love survives because treachery cannot breathe. When people see you reward loyalty fast and price disrespect every time, they relax. They do not have to guess the rules. They can plan. The circle grows smaller, better, steadier. Drama leaves because it cannot make money here. Look at the places where you keep paying for quiet. The relative who forgets to repay small loans. The coworker who turns your idea into their slide. The partner who texts exes and calls it harmless. You have trained each of them with tiny discounts on your dignity. Retrain them with tiny taxes. Make the cost of crossing you higher than the thrill. If they protest, smile. Prices always feel unfair to the people who lived on discounts. None of this requires cruelty. It requires a calculator. Before you answer, ask, what am I rewarding if I say yes? What am I licensing if I say nothing? What will the room learn if I let this slide? If the answers embarrass you, change the price. Move a seat, change a password, shift a deadline. Announce a standard once, in writing, and then stop explaining. Explanations feed debates, standards feed order. Kindness is a good wine, do not pour it for thieves. When you place it behind a lock, true allies will knock and wait. They will bring their own bottle next time. They will watch your back because you watch the borders. The rest will drift to softer tables where the sugar is free and the floor is sticky. Let them go. You are not running a soup kitchen for disrespect. The myth said, kindness prevents disrespect. The truth is simpler. Kindness without boundaries invites it. You were not born to be everyone's soft landing. You were born to build a city where good people can work, love, and sleep without looking over their shoulders. That city needs walls. Those walls need gates. The gates need prices. Put up the posts. Paint the lines. Keep your voice low and your policy high. Be warm by choice and hard at the edges. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. You learn to command other people before you learn to command yourself. That is why your rules wobble. You write policies on paper, while your wounds write policies in secret. Approval hunger, fear of abandonment, guilt that rots like sugar left in the rain. These forces are not romantic. They are levers sticking out of your back, and anyone with a finger can pull. Praise addiction is a leash. When your bloodstream needs applause to feel safe, you price your boundaries low and call it kindness. You tell yourself you are flexible, easygoing, not difficult. In truth, you are marking yourself down like end-of-season clothes. Think about your last week. The client who praised your team spirit, then dumped their urgency on your night. The friend who said, "You're the only one who understands," then asked for money they never repay. The boss who smiles at your hunger for harmony, then stacks extra work on your desk because you never push back. Notice the trade. Each "you're amazing" buys a small exemption from your standards. You skip the follow-up email. You accept the missed deadline. You laugh at the disrespect because the laugher is charming and loud. You fear that asking for basic respect will rip the thin fabric of belonging you have stitched from other people's words. So you accept a counterfeit currency, attention instead of alignment. In Machiavelli's terms, you are granting favors for songs, not for service. A prince who buys loyalty with flattery is soon owned by flatterers. Shift your eyes to the ledger. Who gets the most of you? The ones who clap or the ones who show up when it costs them? The answer reveals your leash. Cut it with an invoice. The next time praise arrives before performance, say, "Thank you. Here is what keeps this working. Deadlines met, messages kept, respect in public. If the clapper goes quiet, you have your proof." The compliment was bait, not bread. Calmly move them downstream. Reward those who do the work when no one is watching. Your nervous system calms when your standards stand. Then there is guilt, the bribe you pay yourself to avoid discomfort. Guilt whispers that you are too harsh for setting a price, ungrateful for saying no, petty for naming the jab. You accept its coins and purchase a minute of peace. After that minute, resentment arrives with interest. You find yourself washing dishes you did not dirty, fixing documents you did not break, apologizing to people who injured you because they look sad. You stand in the mirror and feel noble and filthy at once. Treat guilt like a tax audit. Ask, whose bill am I paying and why? If you are paying because you caused harm, repay it fast, clean, and twice over. If you are paying because you fear a frown, Stop the transfer. Enforcement is not meanness, it is moral hygiene. You would not let mold grow in your child's room because the bleach has a smell. Do not let rot spread in your life because the truth has an edge. When someone crosses your line, name the cost, and keep your tone low. The drama will beg for a stage. You will not rent it space. Practice the calm correction. Your partner texts their ex and calls it closure. You say, "We do honesty, not nostalgia. If it happens again, we pause this relationship for 30 days. Your colleague takes credit in a meeting. You say, "That slide was my work. Please correct the record by end of day." Your sibling arrives late and leaves you with the bill. You say, "Next time we split before we order. Tonight is your check." You are not attacking the person, you are disinfecting the pattern. The more you practice, the less you shake. Now, the oldest enemy: inherited scripts, outdated laws. Be nice. Don't escalate. Forgive fast. These rules may have saved peace in houses built on eggshells. They do not build nations. They barely keep kitchens upright. You carry them like family heirlooms, polishing them while they cut your hands. The world you live in rewards clarity, not quiet. Algorithms rank noise higher than virtue. Rooms respect what repeats. If your rule is endure, the room will pile weight on your back until your spine learns to fold on command. Replace the old law with a constitution you can teach. 3 clauses are enough. 1. Reciprocity or distance. What I pour in must return as action, truth, or time. 2. Public respect. Jokes can land anywhere but not on my name. 3. Consequence equals impact, not rage, not revenge, just weight that matches the stone thrown. Write these where you can see them. Hand them, gently, to anyone who wants a seat near you. Ritualize them. Weekly check-ins with your team where you celebrate kept promises first. Monthly audits of commitments where you adjust privileges to match reality, not promises. People will say you changed. Smile. You did. You stopped letting your wounds vote. Approval hunger lost its ballot. Abandonment fear no longer sets the calendar. Guilt doesn't sign your checks. You are not harder. You are cleaner. Your yes is a contract. Your no is a door that actually shuts. The city of your life grows quieter, not because you withdrew, but because chaos cannot earn here. This is Machiavellian kindness. Firm edges, warm center. You reward loyalty in daylight, so others can see the price of standing with you. You punish disrespect calmly, so others can see the cost of playing with your name. And when your old ache begs for applause, you pat its head like a tired dog and point it to its bed. Power is not loud, it is consistent. Stand in front of a mirror and ask, "What policy did my wounds write this year?" Then take the pen back. Draft your law in short sentences. Tape it to the door of your day. Command yourself first, and the city follows. Command yourself first, and the jokes lose their teeth. Command yourself first, and the friends who remain look you in the eye with relief, because at last they know the rules and trust you to keep them. Calm law over loud longing. The room goes quiet, but the noise inside you is a siren. One joke, one message, one vanished ally, and your name tilts in the crowd's mouth. You feel the floor drop, not because you are weak, but because betrayal is a trapdoor, silent, sudden, precise. Your hands want to shake, your throat wants to shout. Don't. Breathe once, twice. When the mask slips, it never falls slowly. A screenshot arrives at midnight, your idea in someone else's thread, your private note forwarded with a smirk. In the morning, rumors sprint faster than facts. A meeting invite disappears. The group chat turns to mist. You refresh, scroll, reread, trying to find the frame where the knife entered. You won't. The cut was made off camera, then staged under lights. You are allowed a short grief. Let the heat climb your spine and cool on your tongue. Name the feelings without kneeling to them. Shock, anger, bargaining, self-blame. Shock says, "This can't be happening." Anger says, "I will burn it down." Bargaining whispers, "If I apologize for breathing, maybe they'll stay." Self-blame hisses, "It's your fault for believing." Hear every voice, seat none of them at the table. Watch the scene as if you are a director, not the wounded actor. The offender is laughing too loud. That means they are scared. Your supporters are texting privately. That means they are choosing timing. You are still here. That means you have choices. The city hasn't ended. Only an illusion has. Now step from begging to pricing. Why me? Is a child's question. The ruler's question is colder. What price did I set on loyalty and on disrespect? Pull the ledger of the last 3 months. Where did you reward speed over honesty? Where did you praise charm and ignore proof? Where did you let a small lie pass because the liar was useful? Put numbers beside each mercy. Each discount became a billboard. Cross me, it's cheap. Take the meeting where they cut you off and you let it slide. The price you set, 0. Take the rumor you ignored because you feared looking dramatic. The price you set, 0. Take the late deliverables you accepted because you didn't want to be that person. The price you set, 0. Markets move toward bargains. You filled the aisle with clearance tags and wonder why the shelves are empty. Anger wants you to swing. Calculation wants you to count. Count. Who laughed when your name bent? Who looked away? Who asked for facts? Who sent you the screenshot without theatrics and said, "Here are the receipts. Do not grade on friendship. Grade on action under cost." People are loyal to incentives, not to hopes. If you change the price, you change the cast. Now, build the cold sunlight checklist. No poetry, just columns you can show yourself without flinching. Behavior. Past consequence. Intended consequence. Public signal. Behavior. Public jab in the meeting. Past consequence. You smiled. Changed the slide. Hoped they'd stop. Intended consequence. First offense earns a private correction and loss of speaking priority for 2 weeks. Public signal. Meetings are for work, not for status games. Jokes do not pay. Behavior. Late delivery without notice. Past consequence. You covered the gap and thanked them later. Intended consequence. Next time, task is reassigned and deadline credit is lost. Public signal. Reliability outranks excuses. The crown sits on the clock. Behavior. Leak of private message. Past consequence. You confronted in private and accepted a soft apology. Intended consequence. Remove access to sensitive channels. Document why. Inform the core team. Public signal. Discretion is a license. Misuse revokes it. The checklist is not a scream, it is a map. You will be tempted to rant, to post, to gather sympathy like dry leaves. Don't. Sympathy burns fast and warms no one. Maps endure. When you act, act by the map. Quietly move chairs, adjust calendars, reassign owners. Deliver 2 bright rewards to the people who stood up when it cost them. Deliver 1 clean cut, where the rot began. The room will understand without you teaching a seminar. Your identity feels in pieces because you tied it to other people's weather. They loved you when the sun was soft. They hid when the wind turned. That is not a conspiracy. It is physics. You are not rebuilding a personality. You are rebuilding a barometer. It will read pressure, not praise. It will predict storms and suggest roofs, not prayers. Modern scenes make the lesson plain. In a startup, a co-founder sells your roadmap as his. Don't duel online. File the minutes. Reassign domains. Freeze deploy rights until the vote. In a family, a relative turns your story into a joke. Don't lecture the table. Set a rule. Personal matters are off limits. Break it and visits. Pause a month. In dating, your partner courts attention they call harmless. Don't spiral at midnight. State the boundary and the cost, then hold it. As you move, keep your voice low and your pace steady. Composure is a magnifying glass. It concentrates light into heat where you choose, not where anger chooses. Your calm does not mean you are numb. It means your punishment is infrastructure. When a bridge collapses, engineers don't scream at the river. They rebuild the cont, supports and invoice the contractor. Ask yourself 3 cutting questions. 1. What standard did I fail to publish? 2. What breach did I fail to price? 3. What ally did I fail to reward loudly enough for others to notice? If you cannot answer, you cannot rule. The mask has slipped, yes, good. Masks are for carnivals. You are done with carnivals. You will not be the actor whose value depends on applause. You will be the architect whose value depends on design. The crowd's mood changes hourly. The blueprint holds through winter. When the next rumor tries to sprint, it will hit a fence you built today. When the next joke tests your name, it will meet a room that already knows the fee. When the next ally must choose, they will remember the reward you handed them in daylight and decide accordingly. Authority is not found. It is audited, priced, and enforced. Stand up. Pick up the pen you dropped when the siren started. Write the new prices in short lines. Put them where you can. See them. Then move 1 piece on the board, not 10. The city will tilt by 1 degree. Tomorrow, by 1 more. Soon the floor is level again, and the noise is only wind. Clarity first, then consequence. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. It was never love. It was perfume in sunlight, warm, flattering, and gone by noon. What held you together was not a sacred bond, but an unwritten bargain you never priced. You kept waiting for the scent to pull the carriage, and when it stalled, you blamed the wheels. Stop blaming the wheels. Affection is fragrance, not fuel. You need that sentence to sting, because you kept feeding your worth into other people's warmth. A compliment landed, and you let it replace a contract. A hug arrived, and you let it replace a timeline. You heard, "I care," and you turned it into, "I will show up." That translation was your doing. Care sweetens cooperation. It does not pull the load. Rules pull the load. Clear roles, clear deadlines, clear consequences, these are the horses. Without them, the cart sinks into the street, and every passerby presses for a free ride. Detach your value from their weather. On Monday they love you. On Friday they are busy. On Sunday they remember you when they need a truck. Let the forecast change. Your dignity does not. Set 2 shelves in your mind. 1 shelf holds feeling, gratitude, friendship, desire. The other shelf holds law. What gets rewarded, what gets priced, what gets closed. When the shelves mix, rot begins. Keep them separate and both last longer. Now apply the single test that does not lie. Cost. Trust is not how someone speaks when the sky is blue. Trust is what they do when helping you costs them time, attention, status, or comfort. If they only stand with you in good weather, they are tourists. If they carry weight when no one is watching, they are citizens. This is the metric you can run in any room. What did it cost? Are them to keep faith? If the answer is nothing, then nothing is what you have. Think of the office. The colleague who says, "I've got your back," then vanishes at 5:1 when the deadline bites. That is zero-cost loyalty. Price it accordingly. Contrast the quiet engineer who stays after, fixes the bug, and gives you credit in the stand-up. That costs sleep and earns trust. Think of family, the relative who floods you with praise at gatherings, then forgets every promise when it requires a ride, a check, or a babysitter that is weather. The aunt who shows up at dawn with coffee and a plan that is cost, and it counts. Dating is the clearest lab. Words pour easy under soft lights. The test comes when you say, "I need you not to flirt online," or "Please be on time," or "Let us keep our arguments in private." If it costs them attention, habits, or public persona, and they comply, trust rises. If they give speeches about intention and change nothing, trust falls. Do not argue with stories. Price the behavior. Move their chair closer or farther from your center, based on cost paid, not poems delivered. Your code is the contract, not the flowers, not the speeches, the code. You do not need a courthouse, you need sentences you can say without sweat. When loyalty shows, rewards arrive today. When disrespect shows, consequences follow proportionally. All of this is written and visible. This is not cruelty. This is fairness with a spine. People relax when they know the rules, even if the rules are firm. The chaos of guessing is what makes good people tired and bad actors brave. Reward loyalty promptly. In teams, that means public credit, better seats at the table, first look at opportunities. In friendships, that means priority time, access to your best energy, invitations to inner rooms. In love, that means affection given without games to the one who protects your name in public and your heart in private. Make the rewards obvious. Let deed and dividend sit side by side. Punish disrespect proportionally. You do not swing a hammer at a splinter. You do not whisper at a breach. For a first miss, correct in private and tighten the boundary. For a repeat, remove a privilege and record why. For betrayal, exit with calm finality and take back keys. No tantrums, just weight equal to weight. Document both paths, the reward trail and the penalty ladder, so that pattern replaces gossip. Your reputation becomes a manual people can read without calling you at midnight. This reframing frees you. You stop scanning faces like a beggar of moods. You start reading actions like a builder of roads. You stop asking, "Do they love me?" and ask, "Do they pay the cost?" You stop performing softness to keep others comfortable and start practicing fairness to keep order intact. The city of your life grows smaller and cleaner. Tourists drift away, citizens remain. Peace expands because drama cannot make money at your gates. It was never love that failed you. It was terms you failed to enforce. Write the terms, publish them in your speech, your calendars, your habits, then live them when it rains. The people who stay will be the ones who can build, the ones who can stand a price and still choose you. That is not cynicism, that is clean vision. It restores choice to them and to you. Measure by cost, govern by code. Steel before velvet. You enforce so you can afford to be kind. Vetting by small storms comes first. Do not hire for charm, adopt for pity, or crown for potential. Give a little weather and watch. Ask for a deliverable due at noon and see who warns you at 10 when they hit a snag. Share a minor secret, a harmless detail marked "Do not forward," and note whether it evaporates or echoes. Offer a low-stakes exchange. You cover their shift, they cover yours next week. You lend a tool, they return it on time. Punctuality under pressure, discretion with small secrets, and reciprocity on low. Stakes are the early X-rays. People rarely fail big without rehearsing small. Keep the storms small and the readouts clear. In a startup, ask a candidate to ship a tiny feature by tomorrow noon with a crisp brief and a test link. In a friend group, share a story that should stay inside the circle and wait a week. In dating, note whether they respect the plan without you reminding them like a clock on legs. You are not hunting for perfection. You are hunting for signal. A single honest, "I'm behind, here's where, here's my new ETA." outranks a dozen clever excuses after the bell. Signal beats sparkle. The unproven earn proximity with proof, not posters. Standards you can point at come next. If your rules live only in your mood, they are not rules, they are weather. Write 2 pages everyone can read in 5 minutes. Page 1. Response. Times by channel. Chat. Email. Calls. Decision. Rights. Who decides. Who consults. Who executes. And handoff procedures. Page 2. Zero tolerance lines. Lying. Leaks. Public contempt. And the standard consequences. Put this where people actually look. Pinned in the team's channel, printed near the coffee, sent before the project begins. When someone asks, "What are the rules?" you can point, not sermonize. Turn expectations into artifacts. Use templates, decision memos with owners and deadlines, meeting notes with actions and names, short agreements for recurring favors. Replace vague "we should" with "we will by Friday at 5. Replace "be respectful" with what anyone can observe. No eye-rolling in meetings, no gossip about absent teammates, no subtweets of private pain. When the rule is observable, enforcement becomes fair because anyone can see the line. When the rule is a vibe, enforcement becomes politics, and politics breeds drama. Now, the enforcement ladder: calm, calibrated, and constant. Level 1. First breach. Low impact. Start with a private correction, a tightened boundary, and a reset in writing. Keep the tone flat as paper. You missed the handoff and didn't warn us. Going forward, ping the channel as soon as you know. I'm moving you off critical handoffs for 2 weeks while we rebuild certainty. The goal is not humiliation, it is memory. You design a small sting so the body remembers the fence. Level 2. Repeat or medium impact. The price rises, loss of privilege, a probation window, and a public restatement of the standard. 2 missed handoffs in a month. You're off. Deploy rights for the next release. The rule is simple. If you're at risk, you notify early with a plan. Public does not mean theatrical, it means others can see the rule be real. People trust courts that publish sentences more than courts that whisper apologies. Visibility turns rumor into record. Level 3. High impact or betrayal. Decisive exit, asset recovery, clean narrative. Revoke access, collect property, transfer accounts, and state the reason once, without poison. We ended the partnership after a confidentiality breach. These are the protective steps we're taking. No smear campaigns, no late-night paragraph wars, just the facts needed to prevent myths from growing. A leader who wields the axe rarely needs to swing it again if the swing is clean. Stagecraft and witnesses decide whether policy becomes culture. Reward in daylight, punish with quiet finality. When someone carries weight in the rain, praise them by name where it matters. The meeting with power in the room. The email thread clients will read. The dinner where younger teammates learn what wins. Tie the praise to the behaviour, delivered early and flagged risk in time, so imitators know which lever to pull. When someone crosses a line, keep your voice low and your sentence short. We don't do that here. Then you move a calendar, change a permission, or reassign a role. The room feels the floor tilt. The lesson teaches itself. Control the narrative without theatrics. Prepare 1 paragraph you can reuse. What happened? What rule applied? What consequence followed? Share it in the circles that need clarity and archive it where future you can point without relitigating the past. Rumors are fires that need oxygen. Your paragraph is glass. Everyone can see, nothing spreads. The story simplifies. This city has laws. Coalition hygiene keeps your power from hinging on a single hinge. Rotate favors so no one creditor becomes a quiet king. Avoid single points of failure. By splitting roles, no one person controls the keys, the bank, and the passwords. Document agreements in simple language. Who does what by when, how we review, and how we part if needed. Schedule reviews weekly for hot projects, monthly for stable work, quarterly for alliances. Use the reviews to rebalance. Add resources to honest strugglers. Remove privileges from repeat offenders and circulate opportunity so talent does not stall at one gate. Build redundancy like a bridge. Engineer. In a startup, 2 people must know every critical process, and 1 should be outside the blast radius. In a family, 2 adults should know the budget, the logins, and the routines. In a friend circle, do not let 1 person be the planner, the bank, and the therapist. Split the weight so no one's failure topples the tent. Charisma can start a campfire. Logistics keep the food safe. Power that depends on a mood will starve in winter. Power that depends on systems will feed the whole camp. Across all of this, keep your hands steady and your records short. A checklist calms the blood. Before you act, touch each box. Did I test small? Are the rules visible? Which level is this breach? Who needs to see? Where is the agreement written? The habit becomes a second spine. You do not need to be a genius. You need to be consistent. Consistency looks like magic to the undisciplined, and your enemies will call it luck. Let them. Luck, repeated, is policy. You enforce so you can afford to be kind. Calm punishment makes reward feel safe, because good people know their effort will not be eaten by chaos. When the storm comes, your city does not panic. It follows lanes it already knows. You do not shout, you signal. You do not chase rumors, you publish truth. You do not hoard power. You build roads so power can travel where it is needed and return when it is done. Quiet rules, loud results. Quiet power is not a whisper. It is a road that remembers where it goes. You choose peace the way a builder chooses blueprints, before the storm, not after. Your voice stays soft because your lines stay hard. You forgive quickly because you enforce. When someone makes an honest mistake, you correct and reset. When someone shows contempt, you price it and move them from the center. Mercy for the human, consequence for the pattern. This is how your days stop swinging like a loose door. The hinge is policy, and it holds. Soft voice, hard lines, looks like this. You thank people in public and tighten boundaries in private. You do not rehearse punishments as theater. You write them as procedures. You keep meetings shorter because expectations already live in writing. You answer fewer late-night texts because people know the lanes. Your calendar becomes a contract with yourself. Morning work for deep tasks, afternoon for decisions, evening for life. The world learns to meet you where you are steady, not where you are frantic. Firmness becomes humane when it is predictable. The intern who slips once gets coaching and a second try. The manager who gossips loses a room. The partner who protects your name in public receives affection without suspicion. No one has to decode your mood. They only have to read the rules and choose their distance. Peace begins when guessing ends. Then the flywheel turns. Good allies attract better allies. People who like clear lanes tell their friends who build in straight lines. You see it in small ways first. Fewer urgent fires, more early warnings. Fewer apologies, more accountability. Fewer speeches, more delivery. Rewards compound because you pay them fast. A teammate ships early, you give them the microphone. Another teammate notices and reaches for the next hill. Quiet excellence becomes contagious. Drama, deprived of oxygen, drifts to softer tables that confuse kindness with chaos. Rules are magnets. They pull the right and repel the wrong. A simple document beats 100 pep talks. Response times, decision rights, zero tolerance lines. Your reputation becomes a signal in rooms you have never entered. Work there if you can work. Avoid it if you need chaos to feel alive. The circle stays small but becomes strong. You stop auditioning strangers. They audition themselves by how they react to your clarity. Peace is not soft. It is earned. It arrives like interest in an account you funded with discipline. Every small enforcement was a deposit. Every public reward was a deposit. Every written standard was a deposit. Now the balance pays out. Predictable days, deeper focus, steadier sleep. People call it luck. You call it receipts. Choose the small storm. Correct the inch so the mile never forms. When a boundary is nudged, you tap it back into place with 2 sentences and 1 change on the calendar. When a rumor sparks, you smother it with facts and close the door. When a promise slips, you adjust privileges before resentment grows teeth. You will feel a tug to let it slide. That tug is the past asking for rent. Do not pay it. Pay the future instead. Picture your life as a walled garden at dusk. Paths are swept, lamps are lit. Friends who earned keys walk in and out with quiet hellos. Outside the wall, the city hums and argues. You can visit, you can trade, you can help, but you do not hand the gate to anyone who jokes about locks. The air is warmer inside, not because you hid from weather, but because you built windbreaks. You can finally hear yourself think. This is the dividend of consistent policy, a peace that doesn't ask permission, a peace you can defend without yelling, a peace that frees you to be generous because waste cannot nest in your house. You still have storms, but they are scheduled, measured, and brief. You still have conflict, but it ends in decisions, not endless circles. You still have a heart, warmer than ever, because it is no longer on the auction block. Keep the voice gentle, keep the line strong.